I do have to kick this off with a disclaimer. There is a little bit of a warning in what's about to happen, and that warning is, be careful, you're about to become a better human being. This woman has the power to make you a better person above all else. And what we're going to talk about today is to unlock those keys to Billie Jean's goatness, because you are the goat, my friend.
Very sweet. This woman is number one, because I've never seen anybody with more energy, more creativity, leadership. I mean, it's pretty amazing to sit back and watch you, actually. You don't know that, do you? I've never told her that, so.
Every minute I spend with her and her incredible wife, with Alana, I become a better person, and you will too, trust me. Pick up what she puts down, put it into practice, make it a habit, and you too can be on the path to greatness. So when we were backstage, and this was totally unplanned, Billie said to me, my favorite thing I've ever done is the new Suntouchable campaign. Can we show everybody?
Can we?
So
I love
the
this.
team
Is so much
literally
fun.
Raced behind the scenes with shitty Wi-Fi to be able to show you Billie's latest work. So team, if we could kick it off with the video.
We interrupt our program to bring you this important message.
No touch application. What? Hello there. I'm BJK. If you still don't know me, just Google me. I've beaten so many opponents, but there's one opponent I've never been able to beat. The Sun. Undefeated. And the Sun plays dirty. When I was in my 20s, SPF stood for sizzling pale folks. If you got sunburned, you were told to walk it off. Now, you have entire aisles of SPF in every form imaginable. Spray, stick, shimmer. What? Today we have 15-step skincare routines that don't include sunscreen. That's unbelievable. You think you're invincible? So did I. Until one day you wake up with spots, wrinkles, and your dermatologist on speed dial. You don't beat the sun. You block it. You elfing block it. You got this, kids? Give me the ball. Let's go. I'm starting putting it all over everything. I'm doing this. I'm putting it on my face. And I elfing love it. It was fun. I tell you, the people who were, the crew people and the director and the camera person, the audio person, they were all fantastic. And they were so much fun to work with. That's what made it great for me, like a team, you know. It was, anyway, I had so much fun with that.
So, Billie, people may wonder what you and I are doing on stage together. And this is a good way of starting it off, because it actually started with skincare. Billie didn't have access to SPF when she was playing on the arena in the sun, sizzling pale folk that she was.
No, they did not.
And that's actually how this started. And the more time you spend with Billie, the more you realize how much greatness there is to unlock. And Billie shared with me incredible stats about not only the pathways for growth for women in sports, but the pathways for growth for women in business. Because she's a true equality champion. It doesn't matter what field you're playing in. So then, Billie was actually our #1 champion for our Change the Board Game initiative, where she served facts. She let people know about the inequities in the boardroom. And then from there, we joined forces for e.l.f.'s path in women in sports.
But you like the 94%.
I love the 94%. Tell them about the 94%.
Well, 94% of women in C-suites identify with being an athlete. And half of those were D1 athletes. So FYI, so there we go. That's, I mean, it's happening, because if a girl can get in sports, and you don't have to be really good, it's like boys. My younger brother played 12 years of professional baseball. Randy Moffett, relief pitcher, most of the time with the San Francisco Giants. I own part of the Dodgers, so we do. So we grew up with the Dodgers. That was really fun. But it's amazing how you really want each person, no matter what your gender, to be important and to know and to have it. And girls, quite frankly, especially when I was growing up, and girls of color, oh, that's a whole other discussion. Terrible. So I'm reading Dawn Staley right now, the coach at the University of South Carolina. She's amazing. And I'm reading one of her books right now, Uncommon Favorites, a new one that just came out. And it's just fascinating to listen to how she grew in time. Great communicator now. And she didn't talk when she was young. She was really silent a lot. So, but it's just wonderful to see each person grow. And everyone matters. That's what, Kory and I were talking about. Everyone, each one of you matter, And so don't take yourself lightly. Have fun, but you do matter. And if you get down or anything, just know that you do matter. What you feel, what you think, who you are as you progress in life. So totally believe in yourself, okay? You can do it. And it's not just doing, it's feeling. Sorry, you can tell I like to coach. I loved coaching. I love coaching. You got to be a psychologist to coach. And I have therapy every week, so.
So at 81 years young,
Yeah?
Billie Jean has been fighting the good fight with every single breath. And in the years that I've been working together with her, I tried to break this down into a formula that all of you could take with you so you could fight the good fight and you too can help make progress. Because it takes every single one of us. Everyone matters, right. And you have to believe that you can. So what we're going to talk about today...
Now, these are Kory's. Kory's 5. I call them Kory's 5. Go ahead. I love it.
I distilled it down to 5 P's, because P's are easy to remember. The first one is pissed. The second one is passion. The third one is pressure, which is written on your shirt. Let's show everybody that shirt. The fourth one is progress, and the fifth one is persistence. So let's start with pissed, because you need to be pissed to be fired up, to get the energy going, to actually do something about it. So talk to us about what pissed you off when you were young.
You like the ball kid story, right?
We're going to use that one later. Talk about
later?
when you were young and what pissed you off at 12 years old.
12, I had my epiphany. At 12, well, first I wanted to make tennis professional, which means you're really good. Amateur means it's a hobby. And we were amateurs, the best players in the world. So I said, that's the long-term goal. Shorter-term goal, I was at the Los Angeles Tennis Club daydreaming, and I realized, everybody wore white clothes, they played with white balls, and everybody who played was white. And I asked myself, where's everybody else? So I promised myself, and tennis is a global sport, and I love history. The more you know about history, the more you know about yourself, but more importantly, you help shape the future if you know the history. It's harder to shape the future if you don't have the history, okay? So I love history. I've gone back to college taking history, actually. So it's really, really important. So I just promised myself that day. I played tennis one year. I promised myself I'd fight for everyone and want everyone to have equality. And my first shero was Althea Gibson. She's the first black player to ever play in tournaments. In 1950 was the first time they allowed blacks back in the old days. And we're celebrating 75 years this year. At the U.S. Open, we're going to have a huge Althea Gibson. And she was one of I just do a genuflect every time I, see, I've got her books, and I used to sleep with her book. And then I got to know her. I got really lucky and got to know her, so I really was so lucky. But they're finally going to really do something big this year, because it's been 75 years, which actually is not very long when you look at history. So I was thrilled. But I promised myself I would champion equality for every human being, but forever. And then there's also people with disabilities. I was thinking about that day when I had my epiphany. I go, what about them? They have nothing. They didn't have ramps, and they had nothing to take care of them. So anyway, I love it. I just fight every day. It's fun. Go for it.
And by the inequities that you saw, whether it was color, gender, race,
Everything.
disability,
Still is.
that gave you the passion to champion women's equality. So tell us about
people
equal
say
pay
women's
for
equality.
equal play.
Here's another thing. When a woman does something, they always say it's for women. If a guy does something, they don't say it's just for guys. So that diminishes us as well. So, no, I fight for everyone. Girls, boys, everybody. I don't care. How you self-identify. because you're important. And so, yeah, I fight every day. I want the world a better place for everyone, not just yourself. I mean, I have it made now. I always had it made, you know. It's the people that don't have it made that really, it's rough. They feel invisible, I think. So anyway, go ahead for it, Kory.
So let's move into pressure, because we know you took your being pissed about inequality to get the passion to drive equality. And to your point, you don't have to be doing this. You don't have to get up every day and fight. But you see that pressure as a privilege. So talk to us about, what does pressure is a privilege mean to you, and how do you use that pressure to fight the good fight?
Well, I like pressure. As a jock, as an athlete, I actually liked pressure. I welcomed it. Most players do not. I loved it. I still love it. For some reason, it brings out the best in you. It can, if you look at it that way. I look at it, it's going to help me concentrate, it's going to help me focus, it gives me new goals. You decide for your own lives. Each one of you probably is starting to go, oh yeah, this way. Because what happens if you start feeling pressure and you feel like you cannot do something, if you just turn it upside down and go, you know, because of this pressure, I'm going to learn, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to keep going. So those are the things. It's up to us how we perceive things and how we want to digest them and how we're going to do it. I always liked it because it helped me be better, and I kept learning from it. You just keep learning. And that's why, like we're talking about the three things, Ed Willard was a mentor of ours, of Alana's of mine, and for 3 years, I said to him, you know, I do a lot of commencement speeches for young people. Most of them are about 22 years old. I wanted to have 3 sayings or 3 bullets that'll help them every single day of their life. And we took 3 years on this. It sounds so simple when I tell you what they are. And they don't have to be in, we decided people who had inner success and outer, not just outer. There's a lot of miserable people who have a lot of money. I know them. I'm not one of them. I don't have a lot of money, though. That's why. No, I'm kidding. So anyway, it's like, here's the 3 things. We observed people for 3 years. And these are the 3 things. And they don't have to be in this order, by the way. You decide what order you want them in. Relationships are everything. Relationships are everything. The relationship with yourself, your loved ones, whatever. They are so important. What do you think you're doing here? You're creating all new relationships. You're meeting people. You're making deals or whatever. I hope you are anyway. And what is that? That's about relationships. You're creating new relationships here. I think it's fantastic. One of the other ones, keep learning, and keep learning how to learn. Keep learning, and keep learning how to learn. Like you can imagine my age group with technology. It's hysterical. We have no clue. So I asked the 8-year-olds, I asked the 15-year-olds, I asked the 25-year-olds to help me. And they go, oh, sure. And then they'll punch around like this, and I go, how'd you do that? I don't know. Have you ever noticed that? They can't tell me. But anyway, it's fantastic. The third one is to be a problem solver. You solve problems daily. It can be little ones, big ones, whatever. And be an innovator. Those are the 3 things. Relationships are everything. Keep learning and keep learning how to learn. And be a problem solver and an innovator. And those are the 3 things we noticed in people who had the inner success, were happy, were thrived on life and looked forward to challenges. And the other one was that, you know, they had the outer success as well. But if you didn't have the inner, it didn't matter. I mean, I know a lot of miserable billionaires, so I don't know a lot of billionaires, a few billionaires, but some of them are miserable people, so what good is that? So wouldn't you think $1 billion would make you happy? With me. A lot of athletes are billionaires now, though.
I love that you start with looking in the mirror. And a lot of people think everybody else is responsible for their success. It's my coach, it's my boss, it's my friend. But the starting point is, do you believe in you? What gave you the belief in you? What gave you the belief to look in the mirror and say, I'm going to be #1 in the world?
Well, at 10, my dad was a firefighter. My mother was a housewife at the beginning. You have to understand, I grew up as a child in the 50s. I know it's hard to imagine, but I think I saw how hard my parents worked. I think one of the greatest things my mother did for me is at 10 years old, she set me down and showed me a budget. I was in shock. At 10 years old, when you do the light switch, tires on the car, food on the table, clothes on your back, shelter, and you just go boom, boom. Oh my God. But that was great what she did, because it helped me learn finances right away. And everything costs money, everything. It was an amazing lesson. But I think, I was always highly motivated as a child. And I always, Susan Williams asked me to play tennis in 5th grade. She was next to me. She was the smartest kid in the whole school, actually. And she said, "You want to play tennis?" And I go, "What's tennis? I'm basketball, baby. You know, give me basketball, you know, track and field, everything." She says, "You don't know what tennis is?" I said, "No." So she took me to play, and guess where it was? It was at a country club. I'm going, I'm not playing tennis. My dad's a firefighter. Okay. Then we also played on a softball team. And she told the coach, "Hey, Val Halloran," I'll never forget her name, the coach. And she says, "You know, I took Billy out to play tennis." And Val Halloran says, "They give free instruction here every Tuesday." Boom, free access, I'm there. So the first time I go out with Clyde Walker, which was the second time I picked up a racket, I knew at the end of the day I found my destiny. And my poor mom came to get me, and I go, "Mommy, Mommy," and I'm going like this, "Mommy, Mommy, I know what I'm going to do with my life." She goes, "That's good, honey, but you have homework and you've got things." I go, "No, Mommy, you don't get it. This is it. I want to be the #1 tennis player in the world." She goes, "That's fine, honey, but you have homework." And that was our mom, kept us really level. So I said, "I want to go home and tell Daddy and Randy, my brother." So I told them. My dad goes, "That's great." He says, "I don't know a thing about it." My dad was a really good basketball player, really good. He was asked to join the NBA when it was first forming after World War II. And he didn't. He came home because that generation went through Depression and World War II, and they're risk adverse. All my dad could think about is getting a pension for my mom in case something happened to him. So he didn't play. And they weren't making any money then anyway. So, but he could do 100 baskets in a row, swish, 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 swish. But he also told me by his actions, let's say he got to 88 and he missed. He got to start over. I go, "Daddy, just finished. You got 12 more. Nope, got to start over. The deal is 100 in a row." So I learned a lot about rules, and I'm a rule person. I'd stick to the rules. Ilana's always, "God, you and your rules." I do. People think I would not, because I kind of break rules all the time, but I'm big on rules.
On the other side of pressure, which I think is super interesting, your arguably most famous quote in the world is the one on your shirt, "Pressure is a privilege," which we just learned a lot about. But your parents never put pressure on you.
They put pressure in certain things, but you're right. We were talking about that earlier, that my brother and I, when we lost, weren't too pleasant to be around. And finally, my dad said to me, "Just answer one question. Did you try your best?" I go, "Of course I tried my best." I mean, I'm like crazy. He goes, "That's good enough. That's good enough. If you gave it all you had, then that's good enough." And my mother was the same way. She was fantastic. And I think the reason my brother and I love pressure, he was a relief pitcher, that's pressure every time you go to the mound, is because they didn't pressure us. And a lot of the #1 players in the world, or athletes in the world, if you listen to their stories, it's very similar, which I didn't realize until now. And, you know, I've learned through the years. Like Yvonne Goolagong from Australia was #1 in the world. And her mother used to say to her, "Have a lovely day." Very Australian, "Have a lovely day." And she would come home and she'd go, "Did you have a lovely day?" This is also somebody who was #1 in the world. I mean, it goes on and on. I don't know. I've read a lot of stories now. Same with Dawn Staley. Her mom just wanted, I don't know, there's something about, I think parents or coaches have to be a great psychologist too. Like when I was a coach, and when I coach, I ask a question and they'll answer, but I really look at their body language. Their body language tells me 95% of what they're really thinking. They tell me like this, and I listen, but it's the body language that gives them away, because I know then I have a much better idea.
I love that. And that's an incredible lesson. When you take winning off the table and just focus on the conditions necessary for peak performance, it can significantly change the outcome.
Yeah, but
So
we
we're
had,
gonna
we had
move
our
in-
goal. We had our goals.
Of course
We
we
had
did.
them, but they didn't make us. It wasn't my parents' goals. It was Randy's goal and my goal, and that makes a huge difference. It's ownership.
So we're going to move into the fourth P, which is probably my favorite and the one that you've taught me the most, which is progress. It can be very hard to move forward if you don't look historically about the progress you've made, and hopefully it's progress with a capital P and not a lowercase p. And one of the things that perhaps I love most about you is that you focus on the incremental progress. You see that the little things are the big things. You focus on the things that nobody else sees. For example, every time Billie and I go anywhere together, the first people she says hello to, shake hands with, and thanks are the production teams, the people behind the scenes, the people that are necessary to make the event happen. That matters. Everyone matters.
They do.
And when we were together in Malaga, I made a comment about how cute the ball kids were. And you told me a story about progress with the ball kids, which is actually a very big deal. So I'd love for you to share that story with the audience.
Well, there's a couple of have you heard of the U.S. Open? It's a tennis tournament. It used to be called the U.S. Nationals because we were amateurs. In those days, they only had ball boys, no ball girls. And so I went to Mr. Rooney, who was the head of the ball kids, and I said, "May I talk to you?" And I said, "Why don't you have any girls as ball kids?" And he goes, "I never thought about it." I said, would you think about having ball boys and ball girls? He goes, "Yeah, I will think about it." He says, "You're right. I hadn't thought about it. Thanks for telling me." And so the next year, they had both, ball girls and ball boys. And if you watch tournaments and watch the kids, I always watch the ball kids. They make the match a lot of times because if they do it right, you don't even know about them. And they're fantastic kids. I used to always talk to all of them. So Mr. Rooney did change it. Then at Wimbledon, I used to go get bonbons, these candies for the ball kids and for the guy who ran it. I don't remember his name right now. I will in a minute maybe. Anyway, it was all ball boys. I said, "Have you thought about having ball girls?" "Not really." I said, "Well, would you think about it? That you could have, it'd be really great if you had 50-50. And how about some kids of color?" And, just sweetly try to give them different ideas. Next year, they had both. Ask for what you want and need. And girls are taught not to do that. Girls are taught not to ask for what we want and need. Boys are taught to be brave all the time, and boys can't be brave all the time. That's ridiculous. And girls are also taught to be perfect. Guess what? No one's perfect. So get over it, girls. Don't make yourself think like that. No, it's just amazing, though. Do you know that every cocktail party I'm at, and afterwards when I meet the people, here's what boys come up. They go, "Oh, I play tennis, or I play golf, or I play soccer, I do whatever." And I go, "That's fantastic. What position?" We talk. Here's a girl coming up to me. "I'm not any good, but I like X, Y, or Z." I go, I've had only 2 women not start with that in my whole life. So now, if they hear that speech, they don't say it. If they come up after, they go, "Hi, I like X." I go, "And you're pretty good, right?" And they go, They go, "Not really." Yes. So it's amazing how the way we're socialized. But boys are always taught to be so darn brave all the time. They're not going to feel brave all the time. That's ridiculous. So we socialize. The way we're socialized is just drives me crazy. Yeah, I get pissed. Oh, that's the first one. Sorry.
And we're back to the first P. When you think about your daughters, nieces, neighbors, all the important young ones in your life, when they watch a tennis match and they see it as normal, that there are boy ball people and girl ball people, it's because she had the courage to ask. So I'd like to give you a round of applause for that, because everybody
So you
knows
noticed that
that
of all
you got
things.
equal pay for equal play.
That's a whole
Everybody
nother-
knows
Oh, that
you-
story?
This story shows that we can all make the incremental progress necessary. Those little things are the big things, because if you can see it, then you can be it, and you can dream about one day being that thing too. Which takes us to the fifth P, because we are going to run out of time, which is persistence. So many of you may not know this because she uses e.l.f. skin, but Billie is 81 years young. I know, it's impossible to imagine. And she is still fighting the good fight. She doesn't need to do this. She doesn't need to be here. She doesn't need to mentor me to make change and create pathways for growth in the boardroom. She doesn't need to coach all of us to carry the baton, but she does. And she does it with persistence, no matter how many people tell her no, no matter how many people knock her off her horse. And you have faced a lot of no. Talk to us about persevering and persisting in the face of no.
Well, when we started getting prize money, the women didn't get as much as the guys. So the first time tennis players got money, or pros, was 1968. I know, you weren't born yet. But anyway, that's the first year we had pro tennis, where you get a check when you win the tournament. That was pretty exciting until I saw that I was making 37.5% of what the guy was making. That really set me free, not. And so fast forward now, women started a tour in 1971, and now we're in 72, and I won the U.S. Open, and I made $10,000, and the guy made $25,000. So I'm sitting there with all the media, and remember, we didn't have social media then, so we had a lot of media, like you guys, right about here. And I said, I don't think the girls, the players, I don't think we're going to play next year unless we get equal prize money. Oh, they love that. That's news, right? They can write. I said, we're not coming back. But I also, with my former husband, owned tournaments. So I understood the business side. And when athletes come up to me and say, what should I do? I said, learn the business you're in. Learn the business. If you're a soccer player, learn about what if you wanted to own a soccer team? Or what if you wanted, learn the business. Understand the other side, not just what you want as a player. Players always say, I deserve more. I deserve this. We deserve that. I'm like, really? Do you understand the numbers? Is the team making money yet? They're going, I don't know. I said, well, if you don't know that, don't ask for anything. So anyway, because I was a part owner of tournaments, I understood that side. I understood the business. And I understood if I were in one of our tournaments, where my prize money was going to go if we were losing money. It's going to go right in the old budget. I wasn't going to keep it. So I went to all the relationships that we had, relationships are everything, with the different sponsors, and said, would any of you make up the difference so we could have equal prize money next year for the women? Would you do it together? Would you do it like 2 of you or 3 of you, 1 of you, anything? Bristol Myers comes up to me and says, we want to do the whole thing next year. Why did that happen? Relationships. And I asked for it. Ask for what you want and need. But I also went and found out the solution. Not just say, well, you need to deserve more. What does that mean? You have to understand the money. Money is really important. So, anyway, I think it's really important to know the business, relationships. Here, while you're here, you meet everybody you can. Ask them about them. Don't always about yourself. Get their information. It's hard work. It is exhausting, but it's worth it. You never know, and this is Muhammad Ali, and I used to talk about this all the time. Please tell me you know who he is at least. I love this guy. He was one of the best human beings ever. Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali later. he and I'd always talk about you never know how another person's going to touch your life or how you're going to touch their life. You never know. Think about your own lives of who you've met through the years and go, oh yeah, I met so-and-so. I can't believe what happened. They're fantastic. They're one of my best friends now. I had no idea. So it's really important, and he was so wonderful about this. Pay attention. Be alert. Listen. I know I'm talking too much today. I'd love to be talking to all of you and asking you questions if you really want to know. But listen to what they say and make the relationship. I mean, he was fabulous, and he helped the community of Louisville, where he's from. He helped so much, that community, because of who he is, because he did care about everybody. He was a wonderful man. So I miss him a lot.
And when you talk about paying attention, you were watching the game, you paid attention that there were only ball boys, you wanted to change it. You paid attention that there wasn't equal prize money, so you changed it. You also pay attention to symbols. And I'm going to go back to the BJK Cup in Malaga. You started the BJK Cup because the Davis Cup was really the arena for the boys and there was nothing equivalent for the girls. But even more so, when we talk about the little things are the big things, is what you did with the jackets, which actually put a tear in my eye. And symbols matter. So tell everybody why it was so important, not just to have the BJK Cup and the equal prize money, but also the jackets.
Well, BJK Cup is Billie Jean King Cup is really the World Cup of women's tennis. We had 146 nations start. The men's World Cup is Davis Cup. Davis Cup started in 1900. We started in 1963, 63 years later. And the jacket goes, you know how the Masters have the green jackets? We have this beautiful baby blue jacket. Tory Burch makes them. And only the winning team gets it. Nobody else. Like they say, you get one, don't you? And I go, no, I didn't play. You did. You get it. So there's only been 2 or 3 years, so there's not too many jackets yet, but hopefully over time. So at the finals, we put these jackets on them, and they get so they're making all this money. It's equal prize money with the men. We made sure. And I'm looking at them. They love the jacket. It is beautiful. It's and I've got to say, anyway, it's beautiful. But they just love it. They talk to me about the jacket. So you never know. You never know.
You have the courage to care about the things that matter to them.
Yeah, you got to listen to people, what matters. Sometimes it's the simplest little thing. You can correct it. What do you find in business? Don't you find that?
Trying to correct the inequity in the boardroom.
Whoa, do you think Kory has a mission? Yeah, girl. No, it's really, this one, when I met her, I went, uh-oh. No,
So
you've got fire. And you're smart, and you're creative. That's why she's the marketing, a lot of times, person, like chief marketing officer, the big kahuna, they actually make more money than the CEOs. I don't know if you know that, right? Do you know that in business a lot of times? I don't know if you do or not on
Less
that.
than 10% of all CEOs are women, Billie. Less than 10%.
See? She'll tell you. Kory will tell you.
We're at red numbers, so I'm going to close this out, and they're going to give me another minute because I think this is super important. Billie said, keep learning and keep learning how to learn. This woman, at 81 years old, talk about persistence, just decided to go back to college. Billie is in college. So talk about walking the walk. So if you could just close us out by telling us why it's so important to you to keep learning and keep learning how to learn.
Well, I like to finish. You know when you go shake hands at net, you finish the match, it's done. I love that feeling. And I left college because I wanted to be the #1 tennis player in the world. And you cannot be the #1 tennis player in the world and go to college, okay? You cannot. So I gave it up, but my whole life has been on my head. And so I thought, I'm at a great time in my life. I want to go back to college. I want to go back to school. And so I think if all goes the way we want, I'll be able to graduate next May, which will make me so happy. And I am a history major. I do love history. I'm a geek. I love history. I love history because it teaches me where to go today and tomorrow. It really does. And a lot of people don't like history. You learn so much from it. So I love it. So I'm a history major. Some of the classes I don't get, but that's another thing. But no, I'm really lucky.
I would like a front row seat at your graduation. And
Okay.
just to close this full circle, when I started, I said, be careful. Billie Jean is going to make you a better person. Did Billie Jean make you a better person today?
I hope so. Love you guys. Believe in yourself. Pressure is a privilege. I want it. Give it to me. Give me the ball. Anyway, thank you. Thank you, Kory. Thank you, e.l.f. Elfing unbelievable. You know how much fun it is to say elfing all the time? I go, it's just elfing unbelievable. No, as you go through the day, you go, this is elfing unbelievable. Try saying elfing instead of the other one. You know, elfing instead of the other word that starts with an F. Yeah, I think if you say elfing, you're going to start loving it. I'm not kidding. I love it. I go, this is elfing unbelievable. I can't believe this.
All right, is that our homework after this session?
Thank you so much, Alexis.
Well, thank you both, Kory, Billie Jean King. What an incredible conversation. We are all so grateful for having you. One more round of applause,
We
everyone.
didn't hear enough about you.
Thank you. And I would just say if we can take away one thing from this conversation, because you have two incredible leaders, to make actual change, remember the 5 Ps.
Now we're up to 5.
We're up to 5. First, you're pissed. That fuels a passion, which leads to a pressure that causes progress and requires persistence to maintain. So with that, thank you both so much. There are the 5 Ps.
Thank you. Thanks, Kory. Give it up for Kory. Come on.
Yes, give it up for Kory.
Woo! Do you want this?